You are surrounded, as I see in the spirit, by uncles that are wicked. You came with their picture. Bring them.
International Amazing Grace. Wednesday is going to be morning and evening. Thursday morning, evening.
A man of prophecy cannot be sent to extinction.
Friday in the evening is our Jema.
International Amazing Grace 2019 with Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Swimming in Glory. Live at the International Worship Center, Omega 5 Ministries, headquarters, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Operation Jabez 2019, December.
Anybody who has made certain projections to keep you in bondage, I place demand.
Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus.
Being amounted to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosun.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am James Comfort and thank you so very much for joining us. Making the headlines today from the local scene, UN supports federal government's anti-corruption war in security. From the foreign scene, Bolivia crisis, interim leader appoints first US envoy in 11 years. On business, crude rises to $64.17, fuel subsidy hits 43 naira per litre. On sports, Raw, I'll decide my Eagles' future in January. Stay with us while we'll bring you the details of every news after this time out. Welcome back, and now to the details of the news. From the local scene, UN supports federal government's anti-corruption war in security. The United Nations has promised technical and financial support to federal government's campaign against graft and insecurity. The UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed said addressing graft required uprooting its root causes. Speaking during a visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, in Abuja on Tuesday, the Deputy UN scribe stated that the global body would also support Nigeria in its effort to achieve the objectives of the Sustainable Development Goals and address humanitarian and climate action challenges through a multilateral approach. She noted that the UN General Assembly took stock of how the SDGs had fared in the last 5 years and discovered, unfortunately, countries were not where they should be. Mohammed noted, we are considerably off track across the globe. It is a global agenda, and as we come to Nigeria, we will continue to advocate the decade of action which starts in 2020. She pledged the support of the UN to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which she explained was critical to achieving regional integration. Speaking earlier, Onyema said Nigeria's priorities were in line with the focus of the UN General Assembly, which he stated related to ensuring quality education, peace and security, climate action and inclusion, as well as poverty eradication. Moving forward, be upright. CJN advises 5,689 new lawyers. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, on Tuesday advised 5,689 lawyers newly called to the bar to be steadfast and preserve the honor and dignity of the legal profession. The new Whigs are the successful candidates who passed the August 2019 bar final examinations. At the call to bar ceremony held at the Nigerian Law School, Buhari, Abuja, the CJN called on the new lawyers to display the highest level of professional ethics and decorum. He said, "You must be steadfast and preserve the honor and dignity of the profession." The CJN also urged them to leave good footprints on the sands of time. He urged them to be courageous and bold enough to break new grounds and seek advice from experienced senior counsel. Also speaking, the Director General of the Nigerian Law School, Professor Hayatu Chiroma San, said the school had witnessed astronomical growth in the uninterrupted 56 years of its existence. He called for intervention and financial assistance for the institution. And more from the local scene. New board will defend NDDC budget, says Lawan. The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has assured Nigerians that the newly confirmed members of the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission will defend the agency's 2019 and 2020 budgets. President Muhammadu Buhari had sent the NDDC's appropriation bills to the National Assembly on Monday. Lawan read the covering letter, which conveyed the fiscal document to the Federal Parliament at plenary on Tuesday. However, the minority leader, Enyinaya Ababiri, drew the attention of the Senate to the fact that members of the board of the NDDC who were confirmed since November 5th had not started working. Responding, the Senate President assured his colleagues and Nigerians that the new board would soon take over the control of the agency. Lawan said the next logical thing to do by law is for the appointment of the members of the board to take immediate effect. Meanwhile, the Senate President has acceded to the request of the Chairman, Senate Committee on the Appropriation, Barau Jibrim, seeking the extension of the submission of his panel report till next week, Tuesday. Now, finally, from the local scene, reps want Federal College established in Osun. The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to establish the first federal tertiary institution in Osun Central Senatorial District. At plenary on Tuesday, the House debated and passed the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education in Ila, Oragun, Osun State, which was sponsored by Mr. Femi Fakeye, representing Ila Boluwaduro Ifedayo Federal Constituency. Leading debate on the motion, Fakeye said with a population of over 200 million, Nigeria is being served by a relatively small number of tertiary education institutions. The lawmakers said there was no gainsaying that there was a need for the establishment of more tertiary institutions across the country. He said this bill proposes the establishment of the Federal College of Education to be located in Ila Oragun, Osun State. The proposed location, Ila Oragun, is in the Osun Central Senatorial District and is adjacent to three neighboring states of Ondo, Kwara and Ekiti, making the college accessible to a vast array of young people even beyond the shores of Osun State. Now, coming up next is news from the foreign scene. We'll be right back with the details.
Jesus!
Open Heavens, Toronto, Canada. Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
Take! Power!
I saw in the realm of the spirit, and the Lord is showing me this seat. I see people in government. Sir, God is about to surprise you with strange contacts.
Amen!
Your time has come.
the wicked over your life, over your children, over your husband shall be destroyed.
On this premise, I'd like to invite you to our great outstanding program that will be taking place in Toronto, Canada. God is going to be sitting on the face of the earth and ministering to lives and destinies in Canada. God is going to be doing some great things as we come to Toronto. Tell someone, tell everybody. You live in Ontario, you live in Montreal, you live in Ottawa, anywhere you can come. Be my guest in Toronto, Canada. I believe in God. It will be outstanding. It will be dynamic. Be my guest.
Open heavens, Toronto, Canada. Grace is coming.
My name is Lizzie Johnson Suleiman. People say that there's no reason, nothing to be thankful of. But there's a reason why you need to be grateful to God, why you need a heart of gratitude. This is JMAF, Jubilee Music and Art Festival. Be there, just a night with a king. God bless you.
I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Operation Jabez 2019, December.
Anybody who has made certain projections to keep you in bondage, I place demand on the anointing of judgment, and I prophesy it shall go down today.
Operation Jabez 2019, December, at Omega Fire Ministries International Worship Center, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria.
You are surrounded, as I see in the spirit, by uncles that are wicked. You came with their picture. Bring them.
International Amazing Grace. Wednesday is going to be morning and evening. Thursday morning, evening.
A man of prophecy cannot be sent to extinction.
Friday in the evening is our JMA.
International Amazing Grace 2019 with Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Swimming in glory. Live at the International Worship Center, Omega 5 Ministries, headquarters, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria.
Welcome back. News from the foreign scene now. Trump invited to attend impeachment hearing or stop complaining. Gerald Nadler, the Democratic chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, said Mr. Trump could either attend or stop complaining about the process. If he does attend, the president will be able to question witnesses. It will mark the next stage in the impeachment inquiry, which centers on a July phone call between Mr. Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. In that call, President Trump asked Mr. Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden, currently the front-runner to be the Democratic candidate in New York next year's presidential election, and his son, Hunter Biden, who had previously worked for Ukrainian energy company Burisma. The Globe is looking into whether Mr. Trump used the threat of withholding U.S. military aid to pressure Ukraine into investigating the Bidens. The president has denied any wrongdoing and has called the inquiry a witch hunt. Last week, the House Intelligence Committee wrapped up 2 weeks of public hearings, which followed several weeks of closed-door witness interviews. Adam Schiff, the Democratic chairman of the Intelligence Committee, said the committees leading the probe Intelligence, Oversight and Foreign Affairs are now working on their report, which will be issued on the 3rd of December. In his letter to the president, Mr. Nadler said the hearing would be an opportunity to discuss the historical and constitutional basis for impeachment. We will also discuss whether your alleged actions warrant the House exercising its authority to adopt articles of impeachment, he added. He has given Mr. Trump until 2300 GMT on 1st December to confirm whether or not he will be at the hearing, and if so, to let the committee know who his counsel will be. Now, still from the foreign scene, Bolivia crisis. Interim leader appoints first U.S. envoy in 11 years. Bolivia's interim leader has appointed the country's first U.S. ambassador in 11 years after vowing to overturn many of ex-President Evo Morales' policies. The new ambassador, Walter Oscar Serritz Kula, used to be the country's representative to the UN. Mr. Morales, a socialist who led Bolivia for almost 14 years and was its first indigenous president, resigned on 10th November and fled to Mexico. He stepped down after a disputed presidential election last month. The election results sparked weeks of protests, culminating in Mr. Morales' resignation. He says he was a victim of a right-wing coup. Since he resigned, parts of the country have been crippled by violent protests. At least 29 people have been killed in clashes between security forces and protesters, Reuters reported. During Mr. Morales' time in power, the country's relationship with the U.S. was tense. In 2008, under former U.S. President George W. Bush, ambassadors from both countries were expelled during a diplomatic spot. Right-wing Senator Janine Anes declared herself interim president shortly after Mr. Morales' resignation and was formally recognized by the U.S. Almost straight away, she began reversing the socialist ex-leader's policies. She broke diplomatic ties with the socialist government of Cuba and Venezuela, which were previously two of Bolivia's closest allies in the region. Ms. Anes also formally recognized Venezuela's opposition leader, Juan Guaido, as the country's president, rather than President Nicolas Maduro. All of Bolivia's ambassadors were dismissed except for those to the Vatican and Peru. Mr. Morales announced his resignation soon afterwards. He then went to Mexico, where he claimed political asylum. Now, coming up next is from the world of business. First up on our news, crude rises to $64.17. Full subsidy hits 43 naira per litre. Stay with us while we'll bring you the details of the news after this break.
Jesus!
Open Heavens, Toronto, Canada. Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
Take! Power!
I saw in the realm of the spirit, and the Lord is showing me this seat. I see people in government. Sir, God is about to surprise you with strange contacts.
Amen!
Your time has come.
Empowered of the wicked over your life, over your children, over your husband shall be destroyed.
On this premise, I'd like to invite you to our great outstanding program that will be taking place in Toronto, Canada. God is going to be sitting on the face of the earth and ministering to lives and destinies in Canada. God is going to be doing some great things as we come to Toronto. Tell someone, tell everybody. You live in Ontario, you live in Montreal, you live in Ottawa, anywhere you can come. Be my guest in Toronto, Canada. I believe in God. It will be outstanding. It will be dynamic. Be my guest.
Open Heavens, Toronto, Canada. Grace is coming.
Welcome back. And from the world of business, the rise in crude oil prices spiked the expected open market price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, leading to a sharp increase in the amount spent on subsidy. Data obtained in Abuja on Tuesday showed that Brent, the commodity for which Nigeria's crude was priced, appreciated by $0.54 to $64.17 per barrel. Also gathered crude in the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries basket increased in price by 1.3% $46 to $63.68 per barrel. This came as findings from the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency on Tuesday showed that the expected open market prices of petrol also increased, a development which operators attributed to the marginal rise in global crude oil price. The increase in EOMP led to an increase in the amount spent on subsidy by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the country's sole importer of PMS currently. Tuesday's data from the PPPRA on the agency's pricing templates for November 21st and November 25th, 2019 put the EOMP of petrol at 178 naira.92 kobo per litre and 172 naira 81 kobo per litre respectively. More in business news, reps probe Nigeria's deal with Russia on Ajaokuta. The House of Representatives has begun investigation of the deal Nigeria signed with Russia under recitation of the Ajaokuta Steel Company, alleging that details of the contract were not known to Nigerians. The House resolved to carry out the investigation at the plenary on Tuesday, following the unanimous adoption of a motion moved by Uzoma Nkem Abonta titled "Call for Details of the Agreement between Nigeria and Russia on the Completion of the Ajaokuta Steel Company project." The House mandated the Committee on Steel Treaties, Protocols and Agreements to interface with the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamileko Adegbite, on the agreement. Also, the lawmakers mandated the House Committee on Treaties, Protocols and Agreements to review all extant treaties entered into by the federal government and other countries to ensure conformity with the Constitution. Nkem Abonta recalled that the 8th National Assembly passed the Ajaokuta Steel Completion Fund Bill in 2018 and transmitted it to the President Muhammadu Buhari for assent, which was withheld. The lawmakers said the bill had been reviewed and the content raised by the President address re-gazetted and had passed first reading in the 9th House. Nkem Abonta further recalled that President Buhari was reported to have signed a government-to-government agreement with the Russian President Vladimir Putin at the recently concluded Russian-African Summit in Sochi for the Russian Engineering and Construction Group Mentprom to revive the company, while the African Export-Import Bank would finance the project. He, however, stated that Section 12 of the Constitution provided that no treaty between the Federation and any other country shall have the force of law except to the extent to which any such treaty has been enacted into law by the National Assembly. And now from the world of sports, Roy, I'll decide my ego's future in January. This is quite an interesting one, and we still have a lineup of other interesting news stories. Stay with us while we bring you the details after this break.
You are surrounded, as I see in the spirit, by uncles that are wicked. You came with their picture. Bring them.
International Amazing Grace. Wednesday is going to be morning and evening. Thursday morning, evening.
A man of prophecy cannot be sent to extinction.
Friday in the evening is our Jema.
International Amazing Grace 2019 with Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Swimming in Glory. Live at the International Worship Center, Omega 5 Ministries, Headquarters, Edo State, Nigeria.
Welcome back. And now news from the world of sports. With just 7 months left on his contract with the Nigeria Football Federation, Super Eagles coach Ruiz says he is looking at the options and hopes to have a meeting with NFF boss Amaju Pinnick in January to decide his Eagles' future. The president of the Nigeria Football Federation has told me that we'll sit down in January 2020 for a discussion and the conclusion of the extension of my contract, which runs out on the 30th of June, Ruiz said. To be very honest, he has enjoyed the last 3 years with the national team of Nigeria because he can see the progress that he has made with the players over this period. According to the former Girondins, Bujak's defender and manager who coached the national teams of Niger, Gabon and Burkina Faso before joining Nigeria in 2016, Raw claims that he is owed close to $100,000 in bonuses and allowances by the NFF. Jean-Jacques Bertrand, who served as the lawyer of Manchester United legend Eric Cantona, has been negotiating with the NFF on Raw's behalf to get the arrears paid. Nigeria under Raw won a bronze medal at the last Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt and has made a strong start in 2021 AFCON qualifying campaign, winning their first 2 matches against Benin Republic and Lesotho. More news from the world of sports. 15,000 to watch Joshua Ruiz bout. The purpose-built venue for Anthony Joshua's rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. in Saudi Arabia is close to completion. Work on the 15,000-seat Diriyah Arena only began 2 months before the fight, which is on December 7th. Britain Joshua is seeking to regain the WBA, IBF and WBO heavyweight titles after June's shock defeat by Ruiz in New York. The arena and site are utterly breathtaking. We can't wait, said promoter Eddie Hearn. Joshua visited the venue after landing in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. The Diriyah Arena was built by 175 staff and incorporates 295 tons of steel. It will take a month to deconstruct after the bout, with 95% of the material being reused to stage other events. Saudi Arabia was chosen to host the match ahead of rival proposals from Cardiff's Principality Stadium and Dubai. The country hosted British boxer Amir Khan's win over Billy Deep in July and Callum Smith's success over George Groves in the World Boxing Super Series final in September 2018. That is one match everyone is standing still to witness. Now finally, from the world of sports and on news desk today, it was for the team. Mourinho apologizes to Dier after early substitution. Jose Mourinho has revealed why he substituted Eric Dier before halftime in Tottenham's eventual 4-2 home win over Olympiacos in the Champions League. Dier was replaced by Christian Eriksen just 29 minutes into Tuesday's Group B fixture, with Tottenham trailing 2-0 after Youssef El Arabi and Ruben Semedo had stunned the home side in London. The early change ultimately paid off as last season's runners-up stormed back to pick up the 3 points required to reach the Champions League round of 16. But head coach Mourinho, taking charge of his second game since replacing Mauricio Pochettino last week, was quick to publicly apologize to Dier for sacrificing him inside the opening half an hour. The first thing I did in the dressing room is to apologize to Eric Dier. It is never easy for a player, but not for the coaching staff either, he said. A poor error from Yassine Maria gifted Ali a goal to give Tottenham a route back to the game before halftime, and they produced an improved display in the second half. Hurricanes scored twice either side of Serge Aurier's strike as Premier League outfit Tottenham reached the last 16 for the 3rd season running. We have qualified for the next round. That is the important thing for all of us at the club and the fans, Mourinho said. It was hard. They are a good team, very well organized, and they attacked our self-esteem and self-confidence. Asked about what he told his players at the interval, the 2-time winner of the competition added, "It was a tough time. More than the changes or the tactical talk, I told them to keep calm, confident and believe in themselves." And that's the size of the news for today from Celebration Television News Desk. But just in case you missed out, here is a recap of the headlines. From the local scene, UN supports federal government anti-corruption war in security. From the foreign scene, Bolivia crisis, interim leader appoints first U.S. envoy in 11 years. On business, crude rises to $64.17, fuel subsidy hits 43 naira per litre. And on sports, roar, I'll decide my Eagles' future in January. Do not forget you can stay connected to Celebration TV and also be kept abreast of all news and other events as they unfold. On Facebook, it is Celebration TV. On Instagram, My Celebration TV. On Twitter, at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. I am James Comfort, and thank you so very much for watching.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing Ain of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Osun.